Taking a few more breaths in your child's pose. And gently begin to bring your head up, rising into a tabletop, keeping the palms at shoulder's width. You're going to tuck the toes under and come back into that downward dog. Now, if this is your first downward dog on this add-on, then just hold here a little bit longer. You could shake out your head, nod the head up and down. Really pushing the mat firmly away from you, finding that length through your spine, and then again taking your eye line past your inner thighs. With time, those knees will straighten. And let's just stretch out the back of the legs a little bit first before we set up and prepare to get into that warrior one. So big toes together to touch. Start by inhaling the right leg as high as it can go. And for the first one, automatically stack the right hip on top of the left. Now we're holding here for about 10 breaths, so just maintain your upper body angle. Squeeze the right glute to try to take the right leg a little higher, softness through the toe, and then do your best to square your shoulder blade off. Taking about 2 more breaths before you simply bend your right knee and you open up a little bit deeper into the side hip, so you're getting a front quadriceps stretch. Breathing in and out of the nose, you could find Ujjayi breath if you choose, or a regular breath is fine. Good. Slowly release that right leg down, big toes touch again. Inhale the heels up toward the ceiling. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, relax the heels back down. We're simply going to switch sides. So take your left leg up, stacking your hip. You're here for a few breaths. We're just working on finding that stretch and lengthening sensation down the sides of the legs. Again, squaring the shoulder blades off, squeezing the back glute to lift the leg a little bit more. Try to soften through your left toes here. Continue to press all 10 of your fingers down onto the mat as you find that length. Beautiful. Gently start to bend your left knee, squeezing that back glute. Get a little bit more height, a little bit more opening, and you might even feel it down your right glute coming down to the hamstring. Be mindful that you're continuously pushing that chest palate toward the right leg. As you take your final 2 breaths, relax your jaw, your forehead. Nice. And then slowly release that left leg down. Inhale, coming forward into a high plank, stepping your feet at hips width. Take a moment to roll the shoulders down and back, setting your scapula, engaging the lower belly muscles. You could always drop down onto the knees if this becomes too much at any point in time. You're here for just 2 more breaths. We're going to flush it out before we start to get into the next step. So either knees, chest, chin, or high plank to low, coming into that upward dog on your inhalation. Downward dog, exhale. Good. Inhale the right leg up to the ceiling, stepping in between the palms, dropping the back heel. Now we're not getting up right away into our warrior one. We're going to ease into it. We're building on each mini series. You're going to take your right palm on the inside of the right leg. If you don't have the flexibility today, you could always take a block underneath the right palm and then slowly open the left arm up toward the ceiling. So the back heel of the left foot is grounded. So once again, if you're in that starting position, as if you're standing on railway tracks, the right heel and the left heel are still about hips width, just to give you greater mobility to open up through the twist. Okay, so holding here for a few breaths, allowing the body to really start to ease into the stretch, finding a little bit more depth. Keep pulling that right hip to the center line of the body, maintaining your posture. Nice work. Slowly bringing that left palm down, and we're just going to switch. So you're not going to be able to twist as much here, but do your best to pull that right hip in and back, and then again soften through your toes. You could keep the right palm at the lower back hip area, or you're welcome to reach it up toward the ceiling. Feel free to step that left palm out a little bit. If you need a little bit more space, you could maintain your block, or if your flexibility is there, you could take the palm right down to the floor. Okay, we're here for about one more breath. And we're going to flesh it out first. So plant the palms down, move the block to the side, three-legged downward dog. Let's take the right leg up toward the ceiling. Circle out through that right ankle. Now either knees, chest, chin, high plank to low, or coming down with that right leg lifted, cycling into that upward dog, and then coming right back to your reset, downward dog. Okay, walking out your feet, push the mat away from you, taking about one more breath here, and let's take your left leg up, holding it here momentarily. Before stepping that left foot forward between the palms, knee to heel alignment, dropping down that back right heel. Again, feet are still at about hips width, so you have greater mobility to be able to get into your twist. With or without your block, planting the right palm, and then slowly we're reversing the set, so you're coming into the twist first. So you're pulling that belly closer toward your left thigh, reaching those left fingertips overhead. Try to shift the weight onto the outstep of the right foot so you keep a natural arch. Deepen into that left knee lunge, taking a couple more breaths. Good. Slowly release that left palm down. Don't be too hard on yourself. Every day is going to be a little different, okay? And then you're going to slowly now come into that original stretch that we started on the opposite side body. So planting your left palm, and then start to reach the right fingertips up. Okay, find a slight engagement in through your pelvic floor, so you keep a little bit more alignment in through the lumbar spine. As you continue to look up past the right fingertips, maybe you can deepen the opening, pulling that right arm slightly further back, so both shoulders stack on top of one another. Can you lower down into your lunge a little bit more? Final 2 breaths. We're going to flesh it out here coming up. Okay, in mindful movements, there's no rush. Planting the right palm down, moving that block to the side, coming into a 3-legged down dog. Hold here for a breath. Knees, chest, chin, high plank to low, or 3-legged cycle out from that upward dog, squeezing your glutes before coming into that down dog set. Good. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out of the mouth. Do that one more time. Inhale through the nose, out of the mouth. Big toes touch. Push the chest palate toward your thigh bones. Now let's inhale the right leg up. Coming into that deep step forward, dropping the back knee, root down, engaging through your quads, and slowly rise up into that warrior 1. So keep the weight on the outstep of that right leg. So if you look down toward the toes, you should barely be able to see them as that knee goes deeper into lunge, still a front knee to heel alignment. And then again, that weight is on the back outstep of the left foot. Find a little bit more height here through the crown of the head and spine. And then do your best to engage your core in, taking a moment to look up with the eyes. Good, one more count. You're welcome to lean back a little bit. And then exhale, release the palms down, high plank, hold there for 5, 4, 3, 2, option to flash it out or come back in toward your downward dog. You're here for about 3 breaths. Shaking out that head. Try to keep your body as loose and relaxed as possible. And as we slowly get onto the other side, big toes come together to touch. Take these postures step by step. Left leg comes up. It's not a race. Yoga is not always focused on that fitness-related go, go, go type practice. It can be, it's a facet, but that's not the core of what yoga is. Let's step that left foot forward, shin parallel, heels are aligned, root down in order to rise up. Again, tuck your tailbone under, engaging through your core, set your shoulders down and back. So your hips and shoulders should basically be facing the top of your mat. From there, slowly reach the arms up. Again, deepen that lunge, check up on your toes. Cover them up with that left knee. And then continue to inhale, find length through your spine. Exhale, finding a little bit more depth. And just continue that cycle where you deepen into your set. Find a little bit more height with those arms, getting that stretch down the front lining of your body. Take the eyes to look up at an angle. Okay, taking 2 more breaths here. Good, inhale. Exhale, palms coming down, high plank, and holding there. Once again, you're here for 5. Engage the core. 4, 3, roll the shoulders back. 2, either down dog or flush it out. Let's move 1 breath per movement. Do the same thing once more from the top. Big toes together to touch, where we add the add-ons. Right leg up to the sky, stepping it forward, hold here, drop the back heel, take the right palm on the inside of that right leg, with or without a block. 1 breath, left arm reaches up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring that left palm down. Switch so the right arm comes up. Good, coming into that, warrior 1, root down in order to rise. Taking the eyes to look up this time. Full lengthening sensation. Palms to the ground. High plank. Cycle it out. Do any variations to that flow set that you need. 1 breath in down dog. Big toes walking to touch. Taking that left leg now up toward the ceiling. Deep lunge, stepping it forward. Okay, dropping the back heel. Right palm down. You're doing the same thing but reverse, remember? So your left arm comes up first. Pulling that left hip back in toward the midline of your body. Good, switch. Left palm grounds down. Right arm reaches up. Soften through your toes. And then root down in order to rise. Warrior 1. Squeezing that back right glute, deepen that lunge, look up and lean back. High plank to low, you could go ahead, flush it out. From downward dog, taking 3 breaths here. Yeah, exhaling out of the mouth. And then take a moment, dropping the knees down, tabletop, your cat-cows for a few cycles. Rounding out through the spine, just loosening up the spinal cord. Be playful, maybe even sway the shoulders and hips from side to side. And then coming into a child's pose. Dropping the hips to the heels, whether the elbows are dropped down if you're feeling a little more passive as a rest, or reaching those arms forward, elbows stay lifted, and then forehead coming down to the mat. Taking a few resting breaths here. And coming into your add-on.